A lot of what we're trying to do and rekindle with comics, with the Rippaverse, okay, is fun. And that can be lost when you have all of these different battles and fights that some of those, they're going to be forced upon you. And I'm not telling you to ignore those types of elements. Like we talk about culture, right? And those are very much a thing. And people are utilizing it, especially in entertainment, to do some weird stuff. However, my goal with the Rippaverse is I want people to have fun. And I think that's the best way to stomp this goofy stuff out that we've seen over the last years, is to provide people with a sandbox in which they can have fun. And fun doesn't necessarily mean that everybody within the fandoms are agreeing with each other on every single topic. No. In fact, the passionate discussions, the disagreements are very much a part of having fun. You've heard me talk about it. Back in the Gap, we used to argue. It's funny, people look at it now, it's all toxic, right? The term they use when they see people voicing their opinions about properties it is they like. But this is what it used to be about. And it was always like this. People arguing about dumb stuff, in retrospect, what you call it, was what this nerd fandoms, that's what they were about. Who's more powerful than who's stronger than you, why this person wouldn't do that, why they would do this. That was what it was about. That was part of the fun. And my goal with the Rippaverse is to provide that sandbox and do everything we can as the drivers of the content to ensure an environment where you do have an absolute blast. And this is why, our number one rule here with the creatives at we don't get into any of the other weird stuff, right? I don't care about the political motivations and a lot of that stuff. I don't care. I have one requirement. You want to work for the Rippaverse, I have one requirement. In addition to having the talent, obviously, to fill whatever position it is that you're filling, my only requirement is that you don't be a hack. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you are on. Don't be a hack. And sure, maybe more or less of those types tend to be hacks, depending on where they fall on the political spectrum. But that's my requirement. Don't be a hack. That's it. You leave that stuff at the door. All the political stuff, that needs to never get in the way of business. And so as long as that's the case, you're good with me. And this is why I never tried to be the antithesis of what the quote unquote, so many people try to attribute that to me and the company, right? You see what the quote unquote woke are doing with comics, with movies. And people thought that I was going to build a company that was just going to do, and it technically does do the opposite, but it shows that people don't listen to what it is that we had ever been saying. Because you got people that thought that I was just going to build like a company that took it to and tried to spite the social justice left, or tried to do things that were more aligned with my political philosophy, right? Or lean towards my political philosophy and beat you over the head. Look, everybody has a guidance set of principles, and that is maybe made up of what religion you belong to. Sometimes it is on the political stuff or whatever. I understand that. I empathize with that. I get it. However, there's a way to abide by those principles without being a hack. There's a way to live and then do your thing with another, let's say our company, right? You're collaborating, right, on a project, and it can be largely absent of that stuff. There are universal truths that I think people loved in the comics and that have been present in comics, and that's what it is that we're trying to do. I can't sit up here and say that there'll be zero influence from where it is that I'm at, but I'm not going to beat you over the head with it, and I go out of my way to ensure that that's not what it is that we're trying to build here, because I want you to have fun. This is why I'm not a fan of the external bull crap that a lot of people try to drag me in, because I'm not interested in that. Like, that's That defeats the purpose of what it is that I'm trying to do. I want the current, previous, older generations to be able to get lost into this world known as the Rippaverse and build friendships through its fandom. And I'm just trying to ensure the best sandbox that I can without it like being unwelcoming, without it coming with some sort of idiotic pledge of allegiance to certain political philosophies. That's not the point. I have my own personal views. I'm pretty open about those. We don't let it get into in the way of the stories that we're trying to tell. If that were the case, Alpha Core wouldn't exist. I'm an anarcho-capitalist, and the second property that we released is a team full of super cops. A lot of irony there, huh? A lot of irony. But that just shows that's not what this is about. It's not about trying to just do my version of what the quote-unquote woke left are doing. It's about doing great things and building a sandbox that is welcoming, that is fun, and that I can at least, you can at least ensure it's not going to go to crap because of some social political bull crash. And it's not going to happen. I will do everything I can to preserve, if you want to call it, the sanctity of it. And that's my job as the owner. That's my job as the driver of, again, the main driver of content here. That's the point. It's about having fun. I want you guys to have a blast, and I know that there are things that I can do better to ensure that fun is there. But that's what it's about. It's about you guys being able to get lost in this world and having some fun. And I don't think we'll ever deviate from that.